Yeah, you were asking about the hat. It's mega. Make America Grope again. That was the time when America was at its greatest. Back in the mid 80s and 90s, the early 2000s, when the internet wasn't such a big thing, you could grab them by the pussy if you had the money. If you had the money and the power, they would just let you do it. President said so himself. You gotta think that was a time back when it's the all the cocaine was flowing and women were, well, there were a lot of women that were having some hard times, and they needed to get a little extra money, so we gladly oblige them. And the more money you had, the better the women that you could get. And you know what I mean by better. I mean that's how he met Melania, right? And hey, at some point we got to bring Epstein into this. The people at Epstein Island. Epstein was, well, one of the things that he did, he got a lot of those girls out of very difficult situations. Difficult financial situations, times when their lives would have been sacrificed to drugs and some violence on the street. He got him out of that place. He got him out of that, brought him to his island, and he trained him. He taught him how to do all these things, how to seduce rich and powerful men. And then, when they got old enough, he'd, loan them out to his friends. And, that's how you make those connections. That place was a powerhouse. That was the magic. That was the fantasy island. I mean, if you talk about it, not that one with the little guy. Yeah, this was the real fantasy island. This is where all the movers and shakers went. They had big money. They had big power, and they liked to spend their time little of this, little of that. What happens on the island stays on the island. And just because he was there doesn't mean that he partook of any of the particular flavors of the day, but he is an appreciator of beautiful women. I mean, you'd know that from what he said. He talked about his daughter seeming so pretty, and all the other stuff that goes on. It's just when you have that much money and power, that was a time when you could take that, when you could just do those things. You could slap your waitress on the ass and give her a $20 tip, and she'd be happy for the rest of the night. Not so much anymore now. You got the internet. You got all these crazy lefties that are talking about, women's rights and just, all this other crap. We don't need any of that woke bullshit no more. We want to get back to a time when women knew their place, and that was where they were meant to be. So yeah, let's make America grope again, people.